On a significant day in the Delphi murders case, we are expecting the judge to tell the Supreme Court why she should not be removed from the case, a case that will determine whether defendant Richard Allen is found guilty of murdering teenagers Abby Williams and Libby German back in 2017.
Now, in the last hour, both the judge and the attorney general weighed in. We've got senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel joining us now to kind of break some of this down.
Yeah, so just in the last hour, both the judge, like you said, and the AG weighed in, and we're still waiting to see the judge's response. That literally was filed with the Supreme Court in just the last 15 minutes. But I just read the Attorney General's office. They filed a brief, and the AG's office says it does not think the Supreme Court should get involved in the Delphi case. I'll explain why in a moment. First, let's get up to speed on why the Delphi defendant is taking his case to the Supreme Court in the first place. Civil attorneys for Richard Allen are asking the court to intervene and to do three things. They want the Supreme Court to immediately reinstate Allen's original defense attorneys. They want the High Court to appoint a new special judge, removing Francis Gall from the case. And they're also asking the court to order a trial date within 70 days to preserve Allen's right to a speedy trial. Allen's original trial date was set for January 8th, but since his original defense team was replaced by a new one, the trial has been moved back to next October. This all comes after Judge Gall removed Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin as Allen's public defenders, finding that the attorneys had engaged in gross negligence. But all of Allen's attorneys say there was no gross negligence, and the judge's finding was inappropriate. What's more, Richard Allen wants the original defense team. Rosie and Baldwin agreed to do that, even staying on free of charge. But despite that, Judge Gall removed Allen's chosen legal counsel over his objection. And Allen's civil attorneys say the judge lacks the authority to do that. They say Indiana law only allows two circumstances to break an attorney-client relationship. One, if an attorney is not a member of the state bar, or two, if there's an actual conflict of interest. Neither applies here. And they say for Judge Gall to remove Allen's attorneys for a subjective finding of gross negligence is simply not allowed. That's why they want the Supreme Court to step in. Now, the Attorney General's office filed this brief just about an hour ago. It says the request that the Supreme Court reinstate Baldwin and Rosie as the court-appointed attorneys is inappropriate. The AG's office says the request to do that should have been made in writing and made directly to the trial court, not to the Supreme Court. Again, we're still waiting to see Judge Gall's response. She filed that within the last 15-20 minutes. It has not yet posted to the electronic website where the public can access it. As soon as that happens, we will bring it to you.
Pretty significant, though, that brief from the Attorney General saying we don't think the Supreme Court should get involved.
And I anticipate that is likely what Judge Gall will say as well. She will probably fight to stay on this case. Ultimately, the Supreme Court will have to decide whether it does get involved or whether it takes a pass on this altogether.